What's up, YouTube? It's been a couple of days and I have some new updates in this unraveling chess drama situation. First things first, go to YouTube if you haven't already. There is a 30-minute interview with Hans Niemann, took place after one of the games, where he addresses most of the topics. We're not gonna watch it together. I'm gonna give a summary and discuss some other developments. He addresses a few topics such as the game analysis, in terms of, the quality of his analysis and why he wasn't able to give good lines. The opening preparation. A lot of people were diving into the openings and trying to guess how he could have predicted this offbeat setup so easily. And you pretty much had people on both sides of that. Some people said it was really easy. Some people said, oh, this is like really lucky. He also addressed his fluctuating accent and speech patterns. And then there's a pretty long portion of the interview where he discussed his previous online cheating, where he admitted to, let's say, at least 2 cases of cheating online. And then after that segment, he mentioned that he had been removed from chess.com, and a tournament spot of his was, he was also removed from an upcoming tournament, the chess.com Global Championships, which I'm actually playing in. I think it starts later this month. So the interview covers mainly those topics. And most people have seen it, but you can definitely, if you haven't, check it out on the St. Louis Chess Club video. It was just his post-game interview. And that came out, and it seemed like immediately public opinion went from one side to another instantly. I mean, it was a pretty passionate interview. He was, not only was he, defending himself, but he was also mentioning people, calling out people. I mean, maybe I'm not big enough to be called out on, because I did make a drama video here. I don't make any direct accusations. I mentioned the cheating part online, which he admitted, but he did mention GM Hikaru by name, mention chess.com by name, and mention Magnus Carlsen by name. So part of it was explaining, and part of it was also, a bit, coming at people a little bit. For me, I watched the interview a few times, and I already knew a lot of the information beforehand. And I think I tried to tell people in my first video is these things take time. So no matter where you stand, you have to give it time. It's always taken long periods, resources, information, data, different sources, doesn't matter. But whether one person says this or another person says that, whichever side, flip-flopping around, you're not going to solve these very nuanced chess cases in a day or in an hour. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, and that's good. That's probably why people are watching. But all I'm saying is, I watch the videos from whatever with an open mind, but I know there's a lot more happening behind the scenes. But definitely, you notice last couple of days, Hans gave this interview, and the onus was rightfully on, and rightfully is on. Let's say we're waiting for maybe Magnus, but also after his recent interview, chess.com. And I wanted to wait a little bit, and it seems like it paid off, because people are wondering, why would chess.com close Hans's account in the middle of an event? So just recently we have a tweet from chess.com right here, and I'm going to click on it. This was an hour ago. Dear chess community, the last few days have been tumultuous for many in the chess community. At this time, we've reached out to Hans Niemann to explain our decision to privately remove him from chess.com and our event. We have shared detailed evidence with him concerning our decision, including information that contradicts his statements regarding the amount and seriousness of his cheating on chess.com. We have invited Hans to provide an explanation in response, with the hope of finding a resolution where Hans can again participate on chess.com. We want nothing more than to see the best chess players in the world succeed in the greatest events. We will always act to protect the integrity of the game that we all love. Danny Wrench, Chief Chess Officer. And there's like a bunch of like comments on Twitter, you know, people responding, but that is chess.com's, as far as I know, first public response since the interview. And so now we have, you know, both sides of the equation a little bit. Based on that, chess.com seems to be disputing the segment where Hans was talking about his past transgressions, past, cheating infractions. He had mentioned in the interview he's only done it twice in his life. Once when he was 12 in a money event, once when he was 16, and then he said rated, unrated, but he said it wasn't a money event, but it was online. So he mentioned 2 times and said, you know, he's never done it since and more than that, but those were the 2 times he had mentioned. And chess.com's response, as you saw right there, seems like there's a bit of disagreement in this line. Information that contradicts his statements regarding the amount and seriousness of his cheating on chess.com. Now, you've heard my perspective, at least in the previous video, about cheating. You cheat a couple times online as a professional player. I think not only have you earned the suspicion moving forward, but you have a good argument to be made that those players that have been caught should not be invited to future events online. I mean, chess.com is a private business, but I'm all for stricter and more transparent measures when it comes to things like that. At the same time, none of that, both this statement or things I've discussed, like point towards over the board. Over the board thoughts, accusations take a lot of time, right? I really don't know, and I don't have a strong opinion there. I'm waiting for information from maybe Magnus or what's next, the people investigating. But in terms of the online stuff, you have now chess.com on one hand, Hans on another. There seems to be a dispute there, and chess.com has now responded with that statement. As I said, over the board, I don't really, by the way, I mean, we do work with chess.com. That's where I play chess. We've been partnered with them for a long time. But when it comes to stuff like this and these statements, I mean, that's all them working on it themselves. I'm like you guys, waiting for statements to come out. So you have the 2 sides there, and then you have a bunch of people, you know, jumping ship to either opinion, and people are coming in being like, Eric, how can you accuse this and you accuse that? I didn't make any direct accusations. It doesn't mean I'm taking back what I said. I'm happy with the video I put out and how I explained things. And over the board, I have no idea. And I said I didn't see anything suspicious in those games. But over the board, I don't even know. Like, I have no idea. In fact, I'm going to share something funny with you. So the first day I streamed, people were asking, Eric, how do you cheat over the board? I'm like, I have no idea. They have security there. They have security at most high level events, you know, like to detect electronics and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm like, I really have no idea, guys. And then people are like, Eric, what if somebody hides something in their butt? Well, I responded because I'm impulsive and I like to say dumb things. But something happened with this response. I'm going to play a clip from a few days ago. And the context is someone just asked, what if you like hide something in your butt? That's probably a good one, right? An anal bead probably would beat the thing. I'm serious. If the engine, it would probably, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, think about it. I don't know. I told you it was a prostate massage. But I'm not an expert at that stuff. I'm not the one to. So this clip, that's probably a good one, right? It's okay. It's got 52,000 views, whatever. But I'm just like joking around. I I just said the first thing on my mind, anal beads. I don't know why. I can tell you I'm not an expert. I've never used an anal bead. I didn't particularly know if they could transmit signals and stuff like that, but it was a joke. And somehow that clip and that theory I came up with randomly just talking to Twitch, in the end, we got a response from Elon Musk. Somehow Elon had heard about it and decided to tweet. And this was last night. I'm going to show you what he said here. I took a screenshot because if Elon is tweeting anything with me in there, that's like goals. I mean, I'm not going to forget that. So this theory of anal beads beating chess security started making its wave online. So you got Elon here tweeting with the clip of me talking that I just showed you guys. Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one can see. Bracket, because it's in your butt. Schopenhauer. So there's that. He tweeted that, and it seemed like he had a good time thinking about this theory. So he actually had some further tweets. He had this version of Occam's razor, most entertaining outcome is most likely. And then he also added, you can almost hear the snap of the rubber glove before chess match cavity searches. Pretty funny thought, but again, that was not a serious theory by me. I was just responding to, the nice trolls in our chat. But yeah, Elon got involved. And then once Elon Musk gets involved, then other mainstream media, or I don't know if they're mainstream or not, but all of a sudden I wake up today and I got German friends and people all around, Eric, you were in the news, you're being quoted, blah, blah, blah. And next thing I know, just from this random joking theory, is you got like German sites, I don't know if they're good or not, with anal beads to win against world chess champion Carlsen. That's like a headline. I don't know this website, but it's like the headline, and I think it's being attributed to me, like as if I'm like a scientist investigating anal beads and how they work. There's other ones too. Some Switzerland sites. Look at this. 19-year-old is said to have defeated chess genius with anal beads. So it might make you laugh. It was just a total joke from me. That's not a serious comment. Just a response to if you could bypass the security. But there you have it. This is the state of chess in the news right now. So that's more of the joking part. But in terms of the serious part, I'm going to leave you guys with it. You have Hans's interview on the St. Louis Chess Club site, 30 minutes long, covers most topics, shares some stories. And now you do have an official response from chess.com, which indicates, that seems to imply, that's my interpretation, that he's not being fully truthful. So a couple comments for you guys. Do you think if someone's, do you have a couple, what do you think of the situation now? And then also, if someone is not being fully truthful in an interview, does it undermine their other points? We're still waiting for more information because there's other parties involved, such as Magnus. There's people investigating. But just some food for thought. Those are a couple updates. The chess.com one is really, really recent. Doesn't address all the other points, but it does target one development that is happening right now. Oh yeah, for the editors, make sure the audience knows I've never used anal beads. Never. It was just a random thought that came into my head. I don't even know how they work.